That's right, after 1 year of isolation, we at GDN decided to reboot in order to bring you the best content of this generation. I'm Brian Phillips, and this is the goddamn news! Over the past 2 years, it's safe to say that it's been nothing but for everyone. One bad thing after another keeps happening, and there's no sign of things getting better. One of these tragedies that keeps going on for the past year and a half are companies changing their logos for no damn reason. That's right, we're diving into the goddamn problem with oversimplifying logos. Now, what inspired me to talk about this was that Papa John's recently changed their logo. Papa John's had a great logo before, but now they're doing a Domino's thing where they removed pizza and are just called Papa John's because they're so much more than pizza. Look, I'm just gonna say, I don't trust them to make a side salad, let alone trust them to make something like a meatball sub, or is that lasagna? Papa John's is working on adding a lasagna to their menu? The difference between Papa John's pizza and Domino's pizza is that Domino's already had a menu with other options like subs and pasta, so it makes sense why they wanted to change their name and logo. But Papa John's had no reason to change. They've established that they're a pizza place, and it's obvious they only did this change just to make money off of something they're probably the least qualified to make. It's like when a Mexican restaurant has a pizza on their kids' menu to ensure that the parents are paying money for their kids to eat a pizza at their business rather than someone who's more qualified to make an actual pizza, like Papa John's. I'd also like to point out that I don't really mind the change Domino's did with their logo. It's a slight change, but it's not terrible. They added more color to the actual domino and kept the font same for Domino's rather than simplifying it. I think it works. Papa John's, however, boring font, one color, Papa John's. The old logo had an Italian color scheme and it did more to help stand out. But now they've fallen to the oversimplicity of modern logos and it looks exactly the same as their competition. I'm no expert on advertisement, but I'm pretty sure if you want people to notice your product, the thing to do is to stand out from the competition. Have something other companies don't, specialize in that, and show you're the one who does it best. It's funny, in 2018 they tried to change it once, but it was so bad they changed it back, only to change it again recently, and it looks 10 times worse. Papa John's has fallen victim to oversimplicity, and they're taking on more than they can handle. Only time will tell how it affects their marketing and income, but one thing's for sure, I won't be ordering that sorry-ass excuse for a lasagna. So, we know Papa John's changed their logo, but what other food companies have changed their logo? TGI Fridays. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, now it's just called Fridays. What was the point of that change? I've looked into what the possibility is for them wanting to change their name and logo, and I found nothing. There was no reason for them to change it. Also, look at their new logo. Same font as before, but there's no TGI anymore. It's just Fridays in black and it's surrounded by some sort of ticket-shaped box. Now, I don't think the box is the problem. In fact, if you slapped that around the old logo, you got a pretty damn great logo. Instead, they oversimplified it and the logo looks trash. Dunkin' Donuts. I refuse to acknowledge them as Dunkin'. Once again, I'm not sure what the point of them changing their logo was. What are they, more than just donuts? Nah, I don't think so. Their old logo was one of the longest they had and was probably the most beloved. But now, it's been oversimplified, and if I was a 5-year-old with no knowledge of the old Dunkin' Donuts logo, I'd have no idea what they'd specialize in. I know it's been about 3 years since the change, but I'm still pissed about it. I'm just thankful that a good majority of the franchise still have the old logo hanging above their establishment, but it's only a matter of time before corporate forces the change on all existing Dunkin' Donuts. The next thing that we've got to talk about is the recent change in car logos. What's important about this change is a good majority of people drive cars, and the logos are manufactured on them. If the logo is bad, it devalues the whole look of the car, and boy do these logos suck! BMW changed to a 2D model made of plastic and has been completely whitewashed. Cadillac reverted back to the black and white era. Volkswagen, what the f even is this? Worst of all, Nissan, I can't even describe how pissed this change has made me. All of these logos are boring and uninspiring. When the first Ford was released back in the 1900s, it was an era of revolution. The release marked the future of change. And 100 years later, this is what other companies do to mark their era of change. It's goddamn awful. I'm sure as hell won't be buying any of the new models for these car brands, because the last thing I want is to be driving a car with this logo on the back of it. One of the things that all these oversimplified logos love to do is have the exact same font. I can't even exaggerate how many of them there are, because there's so many of them and they all have the same font. I mean, look at these! And it's not just those companies, because recently we've had change with thesource.com. Boring logo for a boring site. Dictionary.com. Why? User Zoom? I have no idea what the f the user Zoom is, but holy sh is their new logo bad. And sometimes a logo change is so simple, it's like, what was even the point of this? Case in point, Flipboard and Slack. Now, I don't want y'all to think that all logo changes are bad. It can be done, but it's a delicate process. When you oversimplify something, you're taking away the value of going back to an era where things were simple. There are some companies that change their logo by reverting it back to an old logo, and it's those changes that were probably done the best. Pizza Hut, old logo, then they changed it back to an older logo, and it looks good. This was the 90s logo before the most iconic logo made in the early 2000s, and honestly, it's not bad. The one from 2014 to 2019 was alright, but I find that one to be way more simple than it needed to be. This one, however, brings back nostalgia to the franchise and I really enjoy it. Burger King, while not the same logo as the one in the 90s, it's both a clash of modern font mixed in with nostalgic design, and it works well. However, one thing to point out with these companies is that while the logos for the companies have changed, they haven't been enforced with majority of the establishments. Like I said before with Dunkin' and how many of the stores kept the old logo hanging above the establishment, the same goes for franchises like Burger King. A good 90% of establishments across America alone still advertise with the classic blue and yellow logo outside the restaurant, so what was even the point of changing the logo if your franchise is still going to advertise with the old logo? Again, I'm a fan when a company decides to go back to an old logo that was received well. And it's actually kind of funny because it ends up fitting in with the more modern logos. It's better than creating something entirely new that ends up being awful because they oversimplified it. And for a second, I think, man, maybe simplicity isn't so bad. But then you got logo changes like Best Buy and I think, nope, they're complete sh**. Seriously, look at this! It was oversimplified not once, but twice in 1 year! The classic black and a yellow price tag is what majority think of when they hear Best Buy. But they got rid of the price tag and then whitewashed the whole font, and now it looks awful! It's even sadder when you realize the old logo lasted for 2 decades, so it's a guarantee that it became an icon in modern society, and now children are gonna have to grow up with this. That's about it for oversimplifying logos. I know I'm not the first person to talk about it, because it is a very disliked thing happening with advertisement. There was a time when you wanted to be different in order to stand out so that a business could be better than its competition. Again, I'm not an expert on business or marketing, but I do know with any business, you want to stand out in order to make a higher profit. Because if your company makes a better profit than your competition, then you're able to make more money for yourself, pay a higher wage for your employees, thus increasing work for a better profit, resulting in an overall higher company profit. It's called a return investment, and it all starts by standing out with the marketing advertisement. Having a new logo doesn't mean it's better. It's about creating something that will stand out and attracts your target market and sometimes that means going bold and different, not oversimplifying just to fit in. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content. Follow my Instagram down below to share any stories you want talked about. I'm Brian Phillips, and this has been The Goddamn News.